Hi, yeah, thank you for purchasing the divorce planner, separation planner. This is just basically just a quick walkthrough to show you some of the features and basically just how it works. It's a pretty simple spreadsheet, so it doesn't take long to kind of to understand and kind of grasp. Yeah, I'll just take you for a quick run through. Yeah, so the first tab, obviously the setup tab, the most important. Here we can change the currency. So I've set the three main currencies here. And then you can have the first partner's name, and then the second, and then the shared ownership here. And then the net monthly income. This is quite important. And then the household contribution. So I will um, kind of let you know how that sort of ties into the rest of the tabs. So this is kind of important here. If you do want to change the currency, or if you want me to add any different currencies in, just let me know. I'm happy to customize this. Yeah, just let me know. It's pretty simple to do, so I can always update that. So that's no problem. But I've just stuck with the three main ones at the moment. So if you do want to change it, just basically select it, and it will basically run a script in the background. Um, and then update. So you should get like a little pop-up box once it's complete. It'll just run through there you go. Yeah, there it is there, and it'll just run through the whole of the sheet and just update. But it's defaulted to USD, so um, if you don't need to change it, you don't need to change it. But basically, it runs a script here, so you see the currency script here, and you can apply that from any part of the spreadsheet just by going onto the currency and selecting it. It will ask you for you to allow permission when you first run it. Just go through allow permission, and then you'll have that there. But as I say, if you don't need to change it from USD, just leave it as it is, and you won't need it. On the Excel version, it's all formatted in, so you won't have a script. You can kind of just do it just from changing the drop down box. This is the division overview. We'll come back to this in a minute, and I'll just kind of show you how it all ties in again. Um, I've kind of populated some of this just to save a little bit of time, but it's all pretty straightforward. So if I kind of just break down what I've kind of done, so um, I've kind of split it all into different tabs. So if you can see here, we've got the um, seven different tabs there. So sorry, that's my coding tab. So I'll come to that in a minute. Your seven different tabs here. I've seen other reports where they've all kind of just been bunched onto one tab. I think it's just a little bit more difficult when you're sort of searching down through copious amounts of lines when you can just switch from one tab to the other. It just makes more sense in my head. Um, so yeah, so basically I've just kind of filled this out. So these are all there's all pre-populated lists. If we kind of click over to the coding sheet, you can see where I've created these lists here. So if you want to change these or add anything into them, you can. It's quite easily you can quite easily do it. I believe the lists are populated down to around about row 150. So add that in. If there's anything you see which doesn't quite work right, also just let me know. I can quite happily change or add anything in or amend anything. Yeah, I've tried to run through it as much as I can, but sometimes you do just need another user to pick up on things. So that sort of user testing. So if there's anything you see which isn't quite right, just let me know and I can always correct it quickly. So yes, let's go back to the financial assets tab. So basically, yeah, I've populated these in, so you can kind of select the institution names, type of account, is it savings, retirement. Again, you can change these on the coding if you want to add more in. I've just kind of kept it quite generic. So joint account, retirement account, John's checking account, and then just threw some numbers in there. And then this all pulls through from the setup list. So yeah, so if you do go and you change the name midway, it will come up with some sort of red error messages there. So you will just need to change again, just as I know. So yeah, so I've done the joint account and shared ownership. The retirement account I've just put as Jane Doe's name, and then the John checking account obviously in John's. Just put the balances there, and then I've just put today's date. Here you can then change all the percentages. Excuse me. The split method, sorry. So you can have Jane, John. Again, you can change this on the coding to how you see fit, and then the custom percentage kind of overwrites everything, and then you can just kind of put your custom percentage in. I've selected custom percentage for this one just so I can kind of just show you how it works. So um, obviously you put the percentages in here manually. If you do kind of go under, it will tell you. So that's 40/40, so it's not quite right. So 55, it's still not quite right. So you'd need to be over. You need to be exact on 100. If you did go slightly over again, it will highlight red as well. So you need to have the exact manual split percentage. And then here it'll pull through here, and then this one I've done is Jane's, receives all, and then an equal split 50/50, which will make the calculate here. Here we have the completion tabs. I've color coded these bars here as well. You have a pending part here, and then you'll see who's pending, and then we've got a bar just for as a visual to show when it's complete, and then you've got your total amount split here. So if you kind of click them through, as you can see here, the pendings go up, and this all kind of changes here, and this changes up here, and then you get your color coded here. So then there's your orange, and there's your green for 100%. Let's do that there. It's kind of again the same for the financial debt, so it's the same, exactly the same. You've got your financial institution names there, your type of debt, your name on your account, so either John Doe or shared. I've just gone for a student loan here for Jane, done it for Jane. John loan has done that for John, and then the joint mortgage shared ownership. I put the balance of that at 250k, and then did the split here. Again, you can. It's all exactly the same, same premise, same format. Again, it's all color coded here. So the other part is the real estate part. So this is there's a little feature which is on the dashboard. So to actually get the furniture, home and goods, I've kind of tied it in here as well. So your property names pop up here. So the real estate, I've created the two names here, the single family home and the cottage. Just put some addresses in, and then did shared ownership. There's the purchase price, the current value, and then the total loan due, and then that gives you the equity in the business. Sorry, the equity in the houses for the split, for the property. Sorry, the total loan, I put it as 250, so it kind of ties into what the financial debt says here at 250k. Um, and then just did the custom splits here. Again, if you go over, it will highlight. If you're under, it will highlight as well. So um, yeah, again, I've just left that at 50. But then that ties into here, so you'll get that in your drop down list for your furniture and home goods. So I've just created a couple of the same, and just did it in a single family home and then in a cottage, and then just did a couple of, so you can have the rooms there as well. So you can select up to you can select up to as many rooms for as many homes as you want, and stick as many items as you can. And then I've stuck in the different types of conditions, and then there's your estimated value, and then kind of your percentage splits, and there we go. There's the same premises as the rest. The vehicles I haven't touched, but it's kind of the same. Again, who's the holder? It's something I did want to actually update to shared ownership. So let's do that while I'm here. Again, then it follows all the same split method, and you've got your market value, your loan balance to kind of get your net value, and then jewelry and items. It's the same thing. Two categories: jewelry and personal items. You can add more into it if you like. And then yeah, there's your ownership, all the same, and it just follows the same premise. Um, Again, it's all on the coding sheet, so if there's anything you want to update or change yourself, you can. But I'm always happy to help. So if we go to the division overview, So kind of here we get a breakdown of all the assets and debts to yeah. So you get an overview there. Um, we get here the kind of breakdown to the real estate. You can kind of select here to just get just a further breakdown of some of the subcategories of what we got here. So yeah, so you get a view there. Here you can select between the total pending and total approved, John and Jane. Again, yeah, this here just shows you all your total debts. Is just an overview, and your total assets. And yeah, this is just pretty good at just breaking down into your different types. We haven't put anything into there. The other part about the furniture and home goods part, which pulls through into the division overview, is this here, which I kind of think is kind of pretty cool. So because there's no data in the townhouse, and I had some data in there before, it's coming up with an invalid must fall within the specified range. But if you just pull down the drop down box and just select one, and where did we stick that? Oh, here we stuck that in. So single family home, living room and a lounge. So if we go into the living room, you'll see here, and you see the splits there. So 2000 to Jane, and then the lounge. You've got the desktop, which is going to Jane, and then the TV, which is going to John, and then that's the same for the cottage. So it will just pull from the real estate part here. So it's all interlinked, and then to be able the dining room. So we had the table and the chairs, and then it was the kitchen with the microwave and the cooker, and you can see how that's split there. So yeah, so it's a pretty good spreadsheet. It's really simple, so really simple to fill out, and it gives you a really good overview. Let's say you can then break it down into your properties to get an overview of everything there, and then you can obviously break it down into your different asset distributions, so between your financial assets and your financial debts, and you get a good split to who's owed to what, and then this is a good indicator to what's pending and what's waiting to be approved. And it's on Google Sheets as well, so you can share this with the other party, and they can fill out their part as well, or they can make their copy. And there is an Excel version available. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As I say, if you need any help or any further customization, just let me know. I'm always happy to help. Yeah, and I say it's such a simple spreadsheet, but it's so effective, and it gives you a great overview. Um, yeah, of where the assets and your debts and your real estate and all that lies, and who has ownership of what, and yeah, and it's obviously generally when you are going for separation, it is generally a messy thing. So when you do have stuff like this, it does help. So it helps mitigate some of that stress. So, but as I say, I'm always happy to help. So if you have any questions or any queries or any require any customization, just let me know. And yeah, no, thank you for listening, and thank you for purchasing the divorce planner.